Amazing. And so you've been doing this for 30 years.
Yes.
And you're walking down the road, and one day you decide, let me go and be a dominatrix. Am I saying it right? Dominatrix?
Dominatrix.
Okay.
So initially, my intentions were financial, but after about 5 years, I realized this is my calling, it's what I want to do.
And when you say it's your calling, is it a calling from God, or what do you mean it's your calling?
I think so.
You think
I'm a woman
God
of
would
faith.
want you to do this?
Yes.
And why? What the?
Hello everybody, my name is Roland. Welcome to Culture War. I bring to you another crazy Jesse Lee Peterson video. Here he's going to be interviewing what we call a dominatrix. Dominatrix, well, they are part of the porn industry, if you know what I mean. Now also she claims that she's a descendant of Lilith, and she connects everything together and why she feels and she believes that being a dominatrix is a calling from God. I want you to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
I have with me Mistress Tara Indiana, and she has been a professional and lifestyle dominatrix for over 29 years. That's amazing.
30 years.
Really?
Yes, I haven't updated my profile. Yes,
Over 30 years.
30 years.
Welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, what does that mean, a dominatrix?
Well, I mean, I guess the simplest way to put it is a woman who is an alpha female. Like you teach men to be alpha males, I teach women to be alpha females. So it's a woman that is in charge of herself and her sexuality and kind of does and sort of runs the show. Boss lady.
And so, does it mean like those ladies who beat weak men, like they on their
We
knees?
beat all kinds of men, but it's not always just beating. It's other things.
Like what?
Oh, any number of things. Not all S&M is about pain. There's, fantasy role play, but I mean, certainly there's, bondage, tease and denial, CBT, fantasy role play, all kinds of different things you can do.
What is DBT?
CBT.
What is CBT?
Ooh, I don't know if I can say that on this show.
Oh, it's something nasty?
It's nasty.
Oh, amazing. And so you've been doing this for 30 years.
Yes.
And you're walking down the road, and one day you decide, let me go and be a dominatrix. Am I saying it right? Dominatrix?
Dominatrix.
Okay. You walking down the road, and you decide, my calling is to be a dominatrix.
No, I didn't realize it was my calling right away. I got into it in the beginning because I was an entrepreneur and I had a small business I was trying to raise money for, and being a dominatrix was the only kind of work in the sex industry that didn't actually involve sex, where you didn't have to have any sex with them.
Oh.
So that's how I, sort of fell into it. So initially my intentions were financial, but after about 5 years, I realized this is my calling, it's what I want to do.
And when you say it's your calling, is it a calling from God, or what do you mean it's your calling?
I think so.
You think
I'm a woman
God
of
would
faith.
want you to do this?
Yes.
And why? What the?
I thought you were going to ask me if men are going to be if we're in a fallen state.
Oh yeah, we get to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why would God have you do that?
Let's see. Why would God have me do that? Because I am a descendant of Lilith, and so it is my natural state to dominate men. That's my natural state.
Really?
I'm not descendant of Eve. I'm descendant of Lilith.
And who is Lilith?
She was the first woman.
Oh, you mean Eve?
Before Eve.
Oh, before Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, you're descended from her.
Correct.
Oh. Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. And do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Yes.
And what does that mean to be in a fallen state?
To be in a fallen state, I mean, if I'm talking from a Jewish perspective, it's sin is what separates you from the light, and the light is God. So any deeds that you do that separate you from the light of God are sin.
And so, okay. And so you believe, why would God have you degrade men like that?
Well, it's not always degradation, because men are naughty and they need to be corrected.
By mommy?
Sometimes by mommy, but not always.
Do you enjoy doing this?
Oh, I love it.
You love it. What do you love about it?
I love the endorphins. I love the adrenaline rush. What I do is therapeutic for a lot of people. So there's sort of a sense of helping people. I like helping people therapeutically. But mostly, mostly what I do right now is I teach women how to dominate men. That's primarily how I make my living. And that's really what I take the most joy and pleasure from, is teaching other women to dominate men.
Really? Do men dominate women like that?
They do.
They do? So what do they call?
Male dom would be called a master, sir.
Oh, I see.
Those
and
would be
so
some
there
of the
are women
titles.
who are seeking men to dominate them.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Do you teach men to do it to women too?
No.
Why not?
Because there are plenty of people that do that.
Oh, I see.
You know.
There are organizations or companies out there that are teaching men to do that.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds. I mean, if you do a quick Google search, you'll see that there are lots of classes that teach men to do that.
Yeah.
And that's just not my calling. I don't have any judgment about it. It's just not my thing.
Since the man is the head of the woman, he's over the woman, why would God want the man to let a woman dominate him?
Well, that is the fallen state. It's because
Oh, this only happened in the fallen state.
That's right. Because they're in the story of Genesis, first man is created. They're created side by side first. In Genesis, I think it's 7. You probably know better than I do. 17:22.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? So that's the story of the creation of. So they're both created of the earth. Both. So originally, man and woman were in an equal relationship, and it is the punishment, it is the fall of man that this has been reversed.
Well, maybe that's in the Jewish religion, but the man came from God, and the woman came from the man, the rib of the man.
No, Eve came from the rib.
Yeah, but I don't know about
Lilith
this.
did not come from.
I've never heard about Lilith at all, so that may be a Jewish thing.
It's Old Testament, Talmud, Zohar, all that stuff.
Are you married?
I am divorced.
Your boy. Did you dominate your husband, your ex?
Not in an S&M sense. I mean, in a sort of like, happy wife, happy life sense.
Right.
He was a very good man. So not in that sense, but I was probably the head of the household, if that's what you're asking.
You were head of your husband?
Yeah.
Amazing. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Do you like being dominated?
Usually not, but sometimes, you need to relax and unwind, and you get tired of making all the decisions, and you want someone else to be in charge for a little while.
That's right. So were you raised with father and mother?
Yes.
And they were Jewish?
Yes.
You don't look like a Jew. I'm surprised you're Jewish.
Yes, I'm Jewish.
So is this like a Jewish part of the Jewish establishment or Jewish culture?
Are you talking about S&M or Lilith?
Lilith and the SMM thing and all that.
No, Lilith is part of Jewish mysticism. S&M, is something that exists in about, I would say, 8 to 11% of the population across the board are oriented this way.
Really? So is this lifestyle well known in the Jewish culture because of Lilith?
I don't think most people would be sophisticated enough to make that leap. But yeah, I think it's probably one of the reasons that generally in Jewish culture is matriarchal.
And this is happening because men and women are in a fallen state. That's why.
Yes, it's not natural for men to dominate women. That's the fallen state.
It's not natural for women to dominate men.
No, it's the other way. The punishment from God, right?
Right.
Is that Adam is going to dominate Eve. That's the fallen state.
What the fallen state is, once Eve disobeyed her husband, because prior to that, when she obeyed her husband and listened to her husband, things were fine. The order was there. But once Eve
Lilith was actually the one that tempted Eve. You know the snake in the tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the snake
and
you
see
call
the
Lilith.
snake? And have you seen the image? It's like a snake that's half snake, half woman holding an apple.
I may have seen that around.
Right. That's Lilith.
Oh.
So Lilith
is the snake.
Lilith was the first woman. And basically what happened is, since they were created equal, both of the earth, okay, and God breathed life into their nostrils, both of the earth, and told them to name all the creatures. When it came time to procreate, Lilith didn't want to procreate the way animals do, right? Because animals do it from behind, right? She wanted to be on top, and Adam said no.
No.
So she left him. And she went and she wandered in by the Dead Seas. And then God saw what happened, and he didn't know what to do. So he put a sleep over Adam, and then he created Lilith of Adam's rib that she would be submissive onto him. She was the second woman.
Is this taught in the Jewish religion? Because I never heard anything like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is taught in the Jewish religion?
I mean, look, in the Jewish religion, there are Reform, there are Orthodox, there are Hasidic, there are all different sects, right?
Right.
So it isn't taught widely throughout all the sects, but yeah, it's part of, it's part of, the, Jewish mysticism, yeah.
So do the Jewish women dominate? When I say dominate, I don't mean put them on their knees and beat them. But the Jewish women dominate over Jewish men?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Jewish men are naturally submissive. Wonderful.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No wonder you're thinking this way.
Yeah.
Because in the Christian world, it's the other way around. The man dominate over the woman, meaning he's the head of the woman, as God is the head of the man.
Is that in the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Both.
Where is it first cited?
Read Genesis.
I've read Genesis.
Yeah. But it
What
sounds
part
like
of
you
Genesis?
read
What did it
Jewish
say?
Genesis.
No.
Because I've never read that or heard that.
Well, if you want to whip it out, I'll show you right where it is.
Well, no, but let me tell you this.
Yeah.
But in the normal religion, in the Christian religion, God is the head of the man, right? Christ is the head. And the man is the head of the woman because she came from the man.
But where does it say that in the Bible?
But let me just finish this.
Okay. All right.
But when Eve went and listened to the serpent, the snake, then the snake became her God. And when the man listened to the woman, she became his God. But then Christ came and put it back in order, whereas men are now over the woman again, whereas the woman is beneath the man. But most people are not.
Did Jesus say that?
Most people are not aware of that. And so I guess, but I had no idea that the Jewish people are naturally living that way, and that's taught in the Jewish religion. I've never heard that before.
Well, I wouldn't say the S&M thing is taught in the Jewish religion.
Right.
I don't want to. But yeah, Lilith is a part of Jewish mysticism.
I do
and
notice
Kabbalah.
I do notice that Jewish women are very controlling, but I didn't know the men were allowing them to be that way.
They're not allowing them to be. That's the natural state of affairs for them. So there's nothing to allow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did your mother dominate your father?
Not in the traditional sense. I mean, actually, they had a very conventional marriage, monogamous marriage, married till he passed away tragically. They were very devoted to each other. I forgot what your question was. I started rambling about my parents.
Did your mother dominate your father?
Not in the conventional sense, but in the sort of damsel in distress sense. She was sort of like the helpless female that, he had to do everything for.
Oh, good.
You know.
So how did you get off track?
Oh, I didn't get off track. I just did it a different way. She was still dominating him. He still did everything for her. He went to work, came home, put the money in the bank, could let her do whatever she wanted. That's how it is.
I mean, do you have kids?
No, I didn't have kids.
And why not?
Well, it just didn't come together. I wanted to make sure if I had kids that I was, financially secure enough and that I could provide them with the kind of, I'm actually more traditional than you'd think. Like I would want to have a husband and have a traditional family. And it just didn't come together in time for me.
Do you regret that now, not having children?
Not particularly.
No.
No.
Do you get lonely?
No.
That last part, she's lying. You see, that's the thing about this modern day woman. They're going to end up being, lonely. Feminism, this is the results. Trying to dominate the man, trying to be a man. This is the results. You can't, no matter what you do, no matter the theology you try to imbibe to suit your lifestyle. I'm talking about the women right now. It does not work. It's always going to remain God over man, man over woman, and woman over children, period. Tell me what you think in the comment section, guys. Tell me what you think. I'd like to see your reactions, and if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this, and also to help the channel grow. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, God bless.